Welcome to Twisted Metal. So they did it. The crazy bastards actually did it. A Twisted Metal live-action series based on the popular games of the 90s and early aughts is here. So in this video, we're going to be covering everything from the story, ending, Season 2 theories, and our reaction and review of Twisted Metal. So if you're new here, welcome to J-Buck Studios. Please like and subscribe to ensure your specials are fully charged, and of course stay up to date on our latest breakdowns and other weird videos. Otherwise, thank you so much for clicking this. Now jump into that pink lowrider because we're about to light this biatch up and get into Twisted Metal. So hopping into the driver's seat, Twisted Metal sets up this post-apocalyptic landscape where a computer bug, I ain't buying it, basically Y2K'd all of the world's computer systems, spiraling the infrastructure into shambles. The remaining sanctuary cities walled themselves off from the outside world like the big-ass walled-off city in World War Z, leaving all of the criminals to deal with the outside world, leaving them two things: cars and
guns. Lots of guns.
But for these cities to function, they enlist the help of milkmen, essentially delivery drivers, who all have an expiration date because, you know, milk, like, it spoils.
I think the milk's a little sour.
It's a dangerous occupation, but this is where we're introduced to Anthony Mackie's John Doe character, taking bits and pieces from a couple of the Twisted Metal games, but his main character influence is from the Twisted Metal Black series. He has amnesia, unable to remember anything about his life, and he has a charred picture of his supposed family. On a routine run to New San Francisco, he is instead invited into the city, something that never has happened before, meeting with Raven about a massive job that could change his life forever. Beyond his wildest dreams, he could become a permanent citizen of New San Francisco, hanging up the old milkman gig, but it's definitely not going to come easy. He has 10 days to drive from California all the way to Chicago, pick up a mysterious package.
Oh, what's in the box?
And deliver it back to Raven not a second late. Getting a glimpse of this life he could have, John Doe takes up the challenge, hitting the twisted roads, avoiding the charred metal of this wasteland on his hopefully final milkman delivery mission. Along the way, he reluctantly teams up with Stephanie Beatrice's Quiet, a completely new character created for this series, whose brother was killed right in front of her, as they avoid both the craziness of the demented clown Marcus Kane and his death machine ice cream truck Sweet Tooth, along with the unlawful lawman Agent Stone and his goon squad of highwaymen of these new divided states of America or whatever.
This is my United States of whatever.
There's obviously a treasure trove of other fan-favorite characters and destinations that they visit, so keep an eye out for our full Easter egg breakdown video posting later today. Surprise, surprise, well, not really a surprise, but John Doe makes it to Chicago, picks up the package, delivering it to Raven just in time, granting his wish of retirement and new citizen of New San Francisco. However, Quiet becoming a citizen with him was not part of the deal, forcing her to leave with John Doe's new vehicle, Roadkill. Video game reference, folks. We finally figure out what's in the mysterious package. I honestly thought it might be the recorder box from the original Twisted Metal series, proving that aliens were real, man. But it's ice cream.
What?
Yeah, just as big a blow to me as it probably was to you. So all of this was for ice cream. What was delivered doesn't matter. It's rather how or the whole mission. John Doe risking his life was an audition in Raven's eyes. We find out that she'd been sending milkman after milkman on this impossible mission, but John Doe was the only one to return alive. Raven goes on claiming that John Doe's parents used to live in New San Francisco, showing him a house that he grew up in, blah, blah, blah. I'm convinced that it's all a lie to keep John Doe happy, stay there, and do whatever she asks. The real thing Raven wants is for John Doe to be her driver for an upcoming tournament, a one-of-a-kind, something that has never been done before, put on by the one and only Calypso, resulting in nothing but
of Twisted Metal.
Yeah, there it is.
So the entirety of Season 1 is setting up the world and drivers for the Twisted Metal tournament that Calypso has been planning, as Calypso gets a back shot.
Hey, yo!
Adding drivers to the upcoming tournament, including several that were featured in Season 1. Miranda Watts, Preacher, Bloody Mary, Amber Rose, John Doe, and the two fan favorites we gotta finally see, the Motorcycle Man, Mr. Grimm, and ya boy, Axel, baby! Look at those arms and wheels I need. So honestly, a bit of a buzzkill that this whole season was a massive setup, teasing what I think a lot of fans really wanted, the actual Twisted Metal tournament, with Calypso giving the winner any wish they desire, and him saying some cheesy, 90s catchphrase like,
I am Calypso, and I thank you for playing Twisted Metal.
As for Quiet, she's off doing her own milkman thing, cruising around with John Doe's Roadkill, but hits some spike strips and comes to a sudden halt. Another new fan favorite makes an appearance, Dollface, with a whole army of doll faces surrounding her.
Mark me down as scared and horny.
Who, what, why, how, it doesn't matter, because it seems like they are taking the lore around Dollface and entirely throwing it by the wayside. Because it doesn't appear the mask is locked onto her face like the video game origin story, and rather than an inspiring supermodel, she is John Doe's sister.
What a twist!
Honestly, again, a bit of a shocker, and not sure if fans will be on board for this, but it's looking like Dollface Doe is looking for her brother, teaming up with Quiet for some much-needed help. Now, don't turn things off just yet, as there's an MCU-styled post-credits tease of the Mike and Stu duo hanging out with some hot chicks. Well, they're sex dolls.
It's still real to me, damn it!
But the party is crashed by Marcus Kane, kidnapping Stu, and appears to have murdered Mike, maybe? I have a feeling that the duo will have a reunion in Season 2, but Mike is off as Kane's play toy now. At the time of recording this video, there is no news of Season 2, but obviously there are some massive cliffhangers to set up, as though that they have plans for a Season 2 and an actual Twisted Metal tournament. So put on those theory hats, because I'm saying that a majority of Season 2 will be the tournament at Calypso's Chicago Fortress. It seemed like he was working with some fancy tech there, and the wall around the place seems like it's capable of keeping the contestants in. If, and that's a big if, Season 2 is badass, I'd love to see the world domination route of Twisted Metal 2. Get weird with things. But with 10 episodes of cars going boom, bang, explosion, pew, 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 could it be a compelling watch? At least we'd get what we desperately missed from Season 1. Backstory on all of the contestants would be the way to go in my book, especially with newcomers like Axel and Mr. Grimm. This would all tie in with everyone's aspiring wishes as well, which was always one of my favorite parts of the games. As for Raven and John Doe, I'm curious if Raven wants to use the wish to get a loved one back. At the end of the season, we see her messing around with a voodoo doll, which all ties back to her story in Twisted Metal Black. In this, she lost a really close friend and suspected lover to some bullies, later using voodoo dolls as revenge, so this could be a way of finding out what she actually wants to win. As for John Doe, the obvious answer is him remembering his family. The amnesia is a big part of his story from Twisted Metal Black, and his picture and Dollface sister reveal feels on brand. Quiet and Dollface will somehow break into the tournament as unexpected drivers, similar to the games with, unlockable characters or boss-level characters. Heck, this could also be how they bring in Sweet Tooth and Mike's Hammerhead vehicle as well. Aside from Dollface wanting to reunite with John Doe, I think we'll have to wait and see what her motivations and backstory paint for this character. One thing I'm still suspecting ever since the first trailer is that the Y2K bug that ruined the world, it has to tie back to aliens.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The episode with the young Agent Stone, what the heck is falling from the sky? This theory has roots back in the original Twisted Metal game, with both Agent Stone, which is, I guess, a different one than this Agent Stone, and Commander Mason wanting a mysterious flight recorder as their prize that proves the existence of aliens. Heck, maybe Calypso is revealed to be an alien, hence why he has the ability to grant these crazy wishes, and his Chicago fortress holds even more evidence towards this. I mean, it's a stretch, but
Hey, it could happen.
this Twisted Metal series is, well, it's a letdown for any sort of hardcore fan hoping to see a faithful adaptation of the weird, wacky, zany, and at times horrifying story and lore of vehicular combat. Obviously, 10 episodes of cars exploding would have been a massive dent to Peacock's financials. So rather, they implemented an almost Mad Max Zombieland with a hint of Death Race vibe. And it makes sense because the writers of Zombieland were the heads of this forming this story. But they also wrote all of the Deadpool movies, which is where the jokes and humor come in, being launched at the screen more than a car's machine gun fire. It's weird because it's a show that is steeped in 90s references, jokes, and pop music that feels like it speaks directly to the immature teen who grew up playing these Twisted Metal games. Hell, if this series was released in the 90s, it would have been all I watched because the goofy-ass music choices were my jam. But in the landscape of 2023, it's rather a skid mark in the shorts of streaming television. Any sort of fart, poop, sex, or penis joke imaginable is present here. Want to know why they call him Mr. Slam? Well, he's the Gallagher of flesh hammers. The first few episodes are a rough ride. Mackie's charisma takes a backseat to the mile-a-minute jokes, but the series actually shifts into the correct gear once everything is set up and Mackie teams up with Beatrice. Their chemistry surprisingly works in this post-apocalyptic landscape, fleshing out tragic backstories, and feels much more like a raunchy revenge rom-com than a dystopian card combat video game adaptation. There are true glimpses of something great buried beneath the rust of the Twisted Metal. Moments of charm, heart, legit comedic moments. Moments I was like, oh, this. Now this is the show. For example, Marcus Kane's origin story reminded me so much of the games and gave me hope that there's something great buried in here. I'm gonna give the series a 6 out of 10. Unfortunately, the bad overshadows the good. But if you commit to the long highway drive, Twisted Metal fans will be treated to a plethora of references, characters, Easter eggs, and teases at potential things to come. And like I said, moments of what I think this show could be if a season 2 is greenlit. More backstories on different characters, almost Black Mirror / like anthology stories of each driver could be a cool way to go about things. In my eyes, it's the same dilemma as the Uncharted movie. What is shown at the conclusion is what I wanted the entire story to be. Anyway, that is everything from Twisted Metal. Honestly, not what I expected, but hey, we get what we get. But what did you think of this Twisted Metal streaming series? Did this hit that sweet tooth, or was this a charred piece of junk on the side of the road? I'd love to hear anything and everything in the comments below. Also, giveaway competitions have started up, and we'll be giving away 2 copies of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the 15th of August, and all you gotta do to get a chance of winning this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Twisted Metal. Also, let me know what fan favorite character you want to see. We'll pick the comments at random on the 15th of next month, and the winners will be featured on screen then. Thank you again for watching through this video. The support of these breakdowns and ending explains have been amazing, so I can't thank you enough. And of course, tune in later today for a full Twisted Metal Easter egg video breakdown, so yeah, stay tuned. And if you haven't, please check out all of my other social media accounts from my Shorts and Clips YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Please and thank you. Otherwise, that is everything I got for you. I hope we see Spectre. I loved him from Twisted Metal 2. Much love, stay tuned, and peace out, dudes.